And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Ed, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you join us today.
Thank you, Bobby.
What can I do for you?
The reason I'm calling, my 2000 Tundra finally needs a brake job, 190,000 miles. And I went and got some estimates, and they are dramatically different. One for turning the rotors was $340, while the same procedure at a different place was nearly $600. And one of the places told me that in my Tundra, because I'm experiencing vibration, that quite possibly the rotors could be warped. In this person's opinion, they could not be cut. They're going to have to be replaced because at 190,000 miles, there's probably nothing really left, no substantial rotor left to do any cutting on. And I'm trying to decide what is the best route to take. I want to try and take this Tundra to 300,000 miles if I can.
I hear you, yeah.
I don't want to go the cheap route. I just want to do the right thing. And I wanted to see, what is your experience with rotors warpage on a Tundra?
Toyota makes great cars and great vehicles. I mean, here you got 200,000 miles and you talk about a brake job. I mean, think about it, what you just said. Here's the challenge, but it's not really a challenge. Each rotor has forged the specifications of minimum thickness. So let's just say that it was, and let's just use 1 inch, and it's 1 inch thick, new. And then you drive at 200,000 miles and you've got 70 thousandths wear, or 80 thousandths, or 100 thousandths wear, which is a lot of wear for the brake rotor. Because see, a brake pad, it has a nominal thickness of some 420 thousandths, as I recall. I don't know where that number comes from, but I remember looking it up for a particular car. And so the thickness of the brake pad starts at 400 thousandths, and then when you get down to a third of that is when you need brakes because they'll overheat quickly. Having said that, the only way, and I want you to know this, Ed, the only way that a shop can know whether or not your rotors can be machined is to put them on a machine, and here's the challenge with that. You have to commit to one of these shops before either one of them knows. Now, it's apparent to me, and may not be to you, and I'm glad you called me, it's apparent to me that the shop that you've checked and you've talked with has had a problem with Tundras before and knows at 200,000 miles the likelihood of having new rotors being needed and pre-warned you ahead of time, where they're not worried about the price, they're worried about the job. If they worried about the price, that they would have quoted you half that or less than that, and then they could always call you back and say, "Oh, we got a problem here." But I like the idea. I like the idea that they're going in with the option of replacing the rotors so they know the quality of the work will be done, and because that's a safety-related item, I'm inclined to go with them.
Yeah, and I feel the same way because I really do appreciate the upfront worst case scenario.
Well, you are a great steward of your automobile, and as evidenced by your success. And folks, I'm going to ask this gentleman a question. So, Ed, given what little that I know about you as an individual, I'm going to hazard a question here. Have you ever had or lost an engine in any of the vehicles that you've owned?
No, sir. I change my oil religiously on time, the same time I rotate my tires.
Yeah.
And you won't. I keep after it.
Yeah. You know it. And you had another question. I interrupted, I think.
No, sir. No, I did not. I just, even comparing apples to apples, there's still a significant difference in the two estimates.
Well, ask for a breakout. Ask for a breakout. Ask for a line item. Ask each one of them to provide you with a line item, and make sure that you're using a quality pad. And let me tell you, brake pads run the gamut. I mean, it's like from $25 to $125. It's unbelievable. And for your particular type of driving, I favor the ceramic pad. I know that there's a company called Akebono, Akebono, that makes. They actually brought ceramics to the United States through the OEMs in 1987, and I've met the principals of that company. I've actually spent time with a gentleman who is no longer with that company, and I like their product. Their product was was so expensive that it really didn't sell well, but now people are realizing that, wait a minute, this Acabona is a great brand. And they make other brands too, but the bottom line, and I think they had to do that, Ed, to do business in the United States with the aftermarket. Now with the OEMs, that's a whole different world of pricing because you're doing parts selling in mass. But when you bring the same part to the aftermarket and put it at a O'Reilly Auto Parts store, it has to be competitive, or else someone walks in and says, "Well, how much is a brake pad?" And they say, "Well, we've got these, and we got these for $100. Well, I'm not, without education, there's no value, and that's where
right.
that's what drives me: education and value in the automotive aftermarket service industry.
Now they do make partial ceramics, do they not? That does have ceramic components, not 100% ceramic. As you said, the spectrum is huge.
I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I'm sure you could find a partial, but let's face it. I mean, I don't know the answer to that. But,
yeah, I understand.
Very good. You can find anything. They make anything you want these days, and if they don't, and you ask for it, wait 6 months, they're going to come back with it.
Right. Very good.
Hey, thank you very much.
Bobby.
Very much.
Appreciate your time, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a great question, by the way.